Area Zero, the endgame location of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and a great one at that. When I worked my way through this bizarre, pristine landscape and faced strange monsters from the past or future, and then the final encounter, I found myself wondering, what a cool location. How could I make this work as a D&D locale? Now, far-flung places inhabited by dinosaurs and prehistoric beasts are no strangers to D&D. Places like AD&D's Isle of Dread and Forbidden City, and even most recently Cholt from Tomb of Annihilation. But they all had this Skull Island type of vibe. They were places disconnected from time, left isolated. Area Zero is, while there definitely are these strange beasts from the past, there's also these creatures from the future that look oddly like those of today and are different. They're paradoxically existing. They seem to be things that they aren't, and they don't make sense in the lore of their world. And that is where I wanted to start. So, in designing my version, I had to keep that in mind. The beasts weren't just prehistoric, but bigger. They were prehistoric and strange. So, I started there. First one is simple, begin with geography. From those of you unaware, Area Zero occupies a massive crater in the center of the Paldea region, and is shored up on either side by steep walls that have mostly kept what's inside the crater inside. This poses two questions immediately. Do you make it a crater? And how are these creatures kept inside? First one, simple, maybe. The map I made, on screen now, and linked below in the description, is very clearly enclosed by steep cliffs on either side. Now, this could be a long, narrow valley, or a deep crater in the ground, or an extension of an underground grotto. That much is left for you to decide. It just needs to be an area big enough to hold the map. Second question, how are these creatures kept inside? When I designed the locale, because of the paradoxical nature of the source material, the Area Zero stand-in is formed around a planar rift, one powerful enough to warp the weather and topography to the point of near inaccessibility. This area is meant to be a late-game location after all, something hard to reach to. In the documentation, you'll see a D6 table called planar shielding. This kind of dictates how the area is shielded, be it valley, crater, cavern, how it keeps the creatures in, and how most beings are kept out. All but the most foolhardy and strong, perhaps. Okay, so the location is there, it's mapped out, and the creatures are stuck in there. What do we populate it with? The SRD has plenty of prehistoric beasts to populate our Area Zero stand-in with. Saber-toothed tigers, several dinosaurs, giant beasts of numerous variety, and some monstrosities too. Bullets, bahirs, entercaps, all sorts of monsters that fit in with this weird primal paradoxical place. And that's awesome. But I also developed some paradoxical beasts of my own, which you can find in the link below. Some of them may seem familiar, others not so much. Place, population, purpose. Now then, why would your player characters come here? The easiest reason is the one the games gave. Things are beginning to escape, causing havoc in the areas nearby, and it's up to our players to go and find out why. Perhaps, though, your players want something more. What if there was a legendary magic item lost in that place? What if there's a treasure buried deep within the planar rift at the center? Or maybe even a beloved NPC or villain found their way into this Area Zero stand-in, and it's up to your party to stop or rescue them. Again, the decision is up to you. Big monsters, treasure, that's all good, but in the games there's this boss fight within the depths of Area Zero. I guess spoilers for a game that came out 2 years ago? Against the Professor's AI duplicate, and a stronger version of the cover legendary Pokemon of either game you're playing, Scarlet or Violet. How to replicate that? Alright, well, there's no AI Professor, because who knows if you guys have a Professor. But it is a boss fight against a stronger version of the cover legendary Pokemon. There are two boss stat blocks attached to the document. One, the Scarlet Dragon, and the other, the Violet Dragon. These are CR25 unique dragons with the works, legendary actions, breath weapons, so forth, so on. So make sure your party is prepared, at least for that part of our Area Zero stand-in. So, like I said, if you'd like, the Google Doc is in the description down below, stat blocks, map, and descriptions included. If you want to venture through Area Zero in D&D, I think this is at least a fair shake at it. As always, thanks for watching.